Hey, what's up, Facebook folks? It's your old pal Schmucker here, live at my house with John Conley.
Hey, Josh.
What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Otherwise known as Barber John. And hey, it looks like I always forget to tag people. And then the first thing that pops up, it says, "Do you want to tag John Conley in this live video?" Hit tag, will you? Fair enough. But I don't know. But it's cool that it automatically picks that up.
You'd think after 2-3 weeks doing this, Josh, you'd have that
Have that down?
down. But
You would like to think so.
it's okay.
But this video being made possible today and all week long by Clevenger Insurance Agency at 525 East Center Street in Warsaw. Find them on Facebook. You can find their link in the description for all your home, auto, business, life, and health insurance needs. So John Conley, I know a lot of your story, but there might be some people out there that don't. So
Okay.
for those that do not, tell us a little bit about you and your story.
Well, we have to go all the way back to 1978. 1978. Born Warsaw, Indiana. Delivered by the amazing Dr. David Haynes. If you ever watch this, thank you for delivering me. Yeah, born into a family of barbers, and that's where I am now. But yeah, just growing up here in Warsaw. Graduated in 1996 from Warsaw. Awesome mom and dad. So I don't know how much.
That's
Yeah,
probably
we've got hours if we want, but I'm sure they'll get tired of hearing my voice, at least not your voice, because you've got the radio voice. But.
I don't know about that, but anyway.
Oh yeah, okay. So a little bit about me. So from Warsaw, married Jennifer. We're about to celebrate 12 years marriage, 3 kids, 2 dogs, 20. I'm not good at live math. Let's see, 13 and 15, 28. 28 chickens.
28
Got chickens.
chickens.
A lot of eggs.
Nice.
Yeah. So get farm fresh eggs. Other than that, just that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think I'm trying to remember the first time that you and I met. It's been a long time.
100 years, I think.
100, 150.
You've aged nicely.
I try.
Yeah. Hey, all right.
It's that.
No, I think we've talked about this before. I don't know exactly how, when, where. Must have been maybe through cousin Jason, maybe along the way somehow.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. Jason Spangle, hey buddy.
Spangle, if you watch, how you doing?
Yeah.
But so what is John's? Since the shop is right next to a convenience store owned by your father-in-law, what's your favorite beverage?
Well, first of all, when we moved there, they have Noble Roman's Pizza. So yeah, like the first 3 months, I didn't go a day without getting a Noble Roman's Pizza. Not many things to drink. I was just focused on the pizza. But every single day now, coffee, house blend. It's amazing.
Black, cream,
absolutely.
sugar.
So a wise man once told me a long time ago at Breeding Cigar Store.
Oh, the classic.
Breeding Cigar Store. Thumbs up if you know Breeding Cigar Store. He taught me to drink black coffee because if you take sugar or cream and all those others, if you go to some place and they don't have that, then you probably wouldn't drink the coffee because you get used to drinking it with that. So I just drink it black, and that way I can always have coffee no matter what.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Never
think
have to depend on the creamer or the sugar.
Ironically enough, that is the exact reason why I started drinking it black.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, I'll just take everything out of the mix, so I don't have to worry about it.
And for those who know me, I don't need much more sugar, so.
You're pretty hyper
I can be.
I've been in the shop a few times, and you've been a little wired.
A little fired up. Yeah. So coffee would be my favorite beverage.
Awesome. So has there ever been like any difficulties that you've overcome in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the one that sticks out the most was Just with marriage, being married, that was probably the most difficult thing that I am overcoming every day, because every day it's a choice to be where I'm at. But we struggled early on with our relationship, led to a separation and almost losing the marriage, or the marriage dissolving. And through God's grace and good counseling and change of heart, we were able to overcome that, and I feel we're stronger today, every day, because of that hurdle that we're overcoming. Haven't yet overcome completely, but definitely better today. So
I mean, I asked my grandfather, this is back, it's been almost a year and a half, not quite 2 years ago now. This is before he went into assisted living and Grandma went to the nursing home. I was like, Grandpa, you've got 70-some years of marriage. What's the key? What's the secret formula to long-lasting marriage?
Everybody listen.
And he just didn't hesitate. He's like, give and take.
Give and take.
He's like, that's really the only thing I can tell you. He's like, you're going to get mad. You're going to be angry. You're just going to flat out not like each other once in a while. It's like, it's just the way it works. But it's like, you got to give a little and take a little. And I'm like, well, I'd say if 70 years of marriage would know. So
yeah, it's wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
I mean, I love talking to, I get to pick Grandpa up and take him to Wakarusa on every Tuesday in that car ride from Napanee to Wakarusa.
Oh, yeah.
It's
a lot of stories there.
You can learn some stories.
That's right.
Learn a lot.
Mouth closed, ears open.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So that's probably as soon as you mentioned that, what was the biggest, or one of the...
Has there ever been any difficulty
Yeah.
with overcoming your life?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of...
I forgot. You can go ahead and talk. I'm
Yeah.
gonna wire these up while you're talking.
Cool, man. Well, hopefully both of our voices are projecting enough.
I think we're loud enough.
Yeah.
Just in case we're not.
I mean, obviously there's if we went back to childhood, overcoming, situations of...
Here, wire yourself up.
Hello, check.
Well, it's not plugged in yet.
Oh. Need to plug it in.
This is the joy of live videos.
Plug it in.
When you forget things.
We're at about right here. That good?
Yeah, that worked.
Cool.
I just got these like last Thursday.
Yeah, you'd think after 3 weeks doing this, you would...
You'd think you'd have all the bugs and kinks worked out and all that stuff, so...
First you don't tag the people, then you don't have the audio hooked up. Now
I should be loud. Can you notice a difference?
So you may
between whether or not you have mics or not?
You may want to turn it down.
Well, I can't really turn it down.
Oh, the viewers.
The viewers, yeah.
Like,
turn that volume down.
Yeah. Or not all the way. Anyhow. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, life is as everybody watching, and it seems like you get over one hurdle and it's on to the next difficulty.
Yeah.
So, it's being able to adapt and overcome. That's what I can't remember what one of my clients said that, but
well, I mean, I definitely know about, it seems one thing after another. I spent 20 years battling alcohol addiction. Well, then I get the job at Reinhold's, start delivering, and hurt my back. So now I've been dealing with that for over a year, and in the midst of that, my mom passes away right before Christmas. So it's like, how much do you think I can handle, Lord? It's like, but I mean, I know He won't give us anything that we can't handle, but it is about the overcoming, and it's what a lot of these videos are about. I mean, just sitting down talking to people, letting everybody know out there that, hey, you're not alone in your struggles. I mean, everybody, even the people that you see all the time, might be facing battles that you know nothing about. So I mean, I practice kindness, grace, and forgiveness. And sometimes people just need you to sit down and talk to them for 5 minutes. But so what's it like being a multi-generational family business?
It's great. It's great. It's not the path that I was originally going to take. Actually, I had dreams and plans that weren't anything to do with my family business. But when that would have been another difficulty. But we can back up and tell that story if you need to. But junior year in high school, I finally decided that I thought it was going to be good. I didn't find myself to be a college person. I didn't know that I wanted to commit to the process of going through college. So the family business was there. My dad started in 1970. And so I knew that was an option, obviously, if with hard work. I knew that nothing was going to be handed to me, but it was going to be earned. So yeah, it was 1997 when I started, and it was there waiting for me. And then now with my nephew on board, we're actually officially a third generation family business. And got to give a shout out to Uncle Herm.
Uncle Herm.
He's not watching Facebook. There's no way he's watching Facebook. Hopefully he's on his way back from Arizona to start his 68th year cutting hair.
It's a long time.
68 years, yeah.
I mean, that's...
So if there's anybody watching that's 68, he's been working that amount of time. So he's great to have around the shop for sure. I mean, it's my dad's brother, so it's generational. It's family at this point. So,
and I think it's great, and I love here in a small town in Warsaw, which not that Warsaw is small anymore, but there aren't too many family-run multi-generational businesses anymore. I mean, the mega stores and the bigger places have taken over. I mean, I was sad when Ace Hardware went out of business, and I mean, there's just not that many locally owned family-run businesses.
Yeah.
I still remember going to the flagpole.
Oh man!
But
remember the tables had was it all the newspaper articles and stuff under the layers of lacquer on top of it? Yeah, that was awesome. I mean,
you mentioned Breedings earlier, and the B&K is now closed, and I mean, there's so many places around Warsaw that have just closed down and are either dilapidated and need some renovation. But I think it's great that even though you guys have moved from Winona Avenue a couple of blocks away over to Argonne, I mean, it's still a great facility, and you still have that same hometown. Oh, I don't think it did. I got a phone call right in the middle of it.
Are we good?
Are we still good? Are we still rolling? I think we're still rolling.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
But I think it's great that we still have that local feel. And I mean, there's a couple other businesses too that, I mean, there just aren't many in town.
Yeah. Looks different. I've talked to people that leave town for 5 years, 10 years, and when they leave town, I always tell a little joke. There's a big magnet on the Welcome to Warsaw sign as you leave. They activate it, so there's always a little tug on you to come back. So I've seen a lot of people leave and then come back to raise families and whatnot, but they come back and they're like, wow, can't believe how much it's grown. Or, I mean, Texas Roadhouse, are you kidding me?
Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, who would have thunk?
I haven't even been there yet.
I went a couple of weeks ago. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
We had a good time. And wait.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to die down.
We talk about the magnet on the sign. I still remember back in, the early 90s, Tiger basketball. Like, businesses, last person out of town, turn the lights out,
Yeah.
But onward and upward. What, how, this is one that I'm interested in hearing. How do you incorporate your faith into your marriage and your business? And for those that don't know, I know you lead worship at church on Sunday mornings here. Was it every fourth Sunday?
Well, I'm a part of the band. I'm in the worship band. Yeah.
So, but I mean, how do you take that in your faith from the stage to applying it to your daily life, to your marriage, in your business?
It's man, that's a great question. We'll start with the business, because that's what I'm thinking about the most. Obviously, when I have a client in the chair, I try to have open ears and closed mouth, which sometimes gets mixed up because I like to talk. Some guys are like, would you just stop talking and cut my hair? I'm like, yes, I'll stop talking. So how's your day? But yeah, I think it's a very unique opportunity where I have, a captive person for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes quicker, but to just listen to them, hear them. And then I struggle a lot of times with feeling inadequate to share, not my faith, I have no problem sharing faith, but just, overcoming my past and struggling. And am I worthy, or am I hypocritical to share with them? That's it. But I found that's why we needed a savior. That's why we need a savior, to free us from that.
Yeah.
That bondage. That
I think you touched on something right there that hits me on a daily basis. And I know every time before I do one of these videos, I usually try and say a prayer about it, because there's a lot of people out there that'll see me that for the last better part of 2 decades seen a different Josh Schmucker, seen the Jelly Man, heavily intoxicated, just no integrity, acting a fool. And it's like, how do you make that transition from, okay, here was the old person, here's old Josh, here's old John,
yeah,
Jesus, okay, how do I go from there going forward?
Yeah.
And so people see integrity, they see you holding to your word, they see you being this person and a positive but yet authentic and transparent, real Christ follower. I think that is a hard thing to do, but yet it's such a simple thing to do.
Yeah.
Because people expect you to be, I don't know if they expect people that have some kind of faith to be perfect. And then there's people that all they see is your past. And it's real hard for them to look past that. So, I guess for me, and maybe you probably back me up on this, I think the best way going forward is there's a clear-cut line of, this is when I got sober, this is the person that I'm choosing to be on a day-to-day basis. And I think all that light you can shine will eventually kind of make that darkness, I don't want to say disappear, but I use...
Less relevant?
Yeah. It does become less relevant because you bring that past darkness into the light and you use it as kind of fuel going forward and an experience to relate with people. Be like, hey, I tell you what, I understand where you're at. I know where you've been. Let's sit down, let's talk about it, and maybe I can help you going forward and kind of point you towards our Heavenly Father, and provide a little insight that maybe somebody that hadn't never been down that road, they don't have.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, there's probably quite a few pastors that don't have the rough past that say you and I have. So.
And I kind of rewinding a little bit as we're talking here, it triggers a lot of thoughts in my mind, and I see a counselor, and because one of my biggest struggles, if I'm opening up here, is worry, anxiety, and not so much about what's going to happen in the future, but about what's already happened. Like the traumatic event I was telling you about when I came in. I keep replaying that over and over and over in my mind, thinking I had an opportunity to inject into the situation to change it before it happened. And I didn't. And then I turn my back and it happens. So now what I do is I worry about coulda, shoulda, woulda, which now doesn't let me look to the future because I'm stuck in something that's already happened.
Yeah.
And then I beat myself up for that. And that's something that I am overcoming. I definitely haven't overcome that. But yeah, anxiety and worry is something that I feel, if you feed it, it will become an ugly monster. So.
Oh, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of
Yeah.
life, and going back and replaying and asking that. Well, what if I had done this, and what if I had done that, and what if? But when it boils down to, we didn't.
Yeah, I know.
But it's ultimately, it can come down to, well, you know what? I didn't, but I know God was there in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And He took care of it the best way that He knew how. So.
And going forward, hopefully, you know, we take that and we learn, and that's
really all you can do.
The hard knocks of life.
The hard knocks of life. So anyway, transitioning from that
Yes.
to a less
A lighter
lighter
note.
topic, we're gonna talk about every guy's favorite subject. We're talking about charcoal or gas.
Oh man, charcoal or gas? Well, I'm going to say pellets.
Of course, you
So
throw the curveball.
I probably have maybe a few people watching this that I apologize to them in advance for my change of heart, because when I started grilling, there's a difference, grilling and barbecuing. I was on a gas guy, go out, fire it up to as high as it'd go and throw the steaks on, make them hockey pucks and take them off. Then I got introduced to charcoal, and I started learning that, and it's a big learning curve from gas to charcoal, you know. And so in the meantime, some friends were buying these pellet grills, these pellet smokers, you know, that have the digital thermometer on them, you know, just set it at 225 and just walk away for hours. It's cheating is what it is. It's cheating. It's easy. It's T-ball barbecuing. So I'd give them a hard time about, you know, friends don't let friends, you know, use pellets, you know, kind of thing. Until I had a mistake with my charcoal, and I said, man, I am going to just check these things out. So I changed again, and now I'm a pellet guy. So I've got the Green Mountain Grill, Daniel Boone, and it's amazing, man. So almost perfect every time. So no more worries about barbecue. It is. It's 100%. It is cheating, but you know what? If it's wrong, then I don't want to be right. So.
I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that you've whipped up on social media.
No complaints from the family, so that's good. Keeping them fed. So.
Gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I'm still a charcoal guy.
So,
started out as a gas guy, kind of migrated over to charcoal, and I try and do it low and slow. You know, you keep it on the heat for a while and pull it off the heat for a while.
A lot of work, isn't it?
It is a lot of work.
You get a pellet smoker, you don't got to work anymore. See?
You just put it on there and go sit down and kick back, relax, and watch TV.
But it is a life lesson of barbecuing is actually it does force you to slow down. It's something. It's trial and error and still trying.
And I think on that topic, every male in America, probably around the world, probably has a difference of opinion.
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes us. That's what makes us us. Yeah. But if you use anything other than pellets, you're just
weird.
No, not at all. No, it just you need to maybe try it. You know, try it. You may like it. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to come over and try yours.
Hey, come on
over
over
for a test.
You can test spin with Danny Boy. Danny Boy. I call him Danny Boy.
Danny Boy.
Danny Boy. Yep.
So does John have any hidden talents or hobbies that nobody knows about?
Oh man,
you
rub
your belly and pat your head.
I can do that. So that's a funny story about that. So growing up, I in every single Little League picture, I had my hat down, you know, and my ears would stick out a lot, and so I was called Dumbo in school. Kind of one of those things that. You're past, you know, bullying was going on way before, you know, it's going on forever. I wish we could stop it, but but I was called Dumbo. So I learned how to wiggle my ears.
So you can wiggle your ears?
I can wiggle my ears. And so what would happen is a kid would be like, hey, Dumbo, and I'd wiggle my ears, and everybody else would start to laugh. And so it was kind of my workaround to protect myself from getting hurt from the words. So, I can wiggle my ears. But a funny story about this. You ready?
Yeah.
So on the first date, Jennifer and I were sitting at dinner, And I was trying to be all cool, you know, like
laid back,
impress her a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
kind of first date stuff. Of course, it was 14 years ago. But I sat at the table and I went, and she just kind of looked at me, and she leaned up on the table. And she wiggled hers. She wiggled hers back. So I was like, wow, maybe there's something to
You're
this.
like, sold.
Yeah,
That was mine.
so I thought I had something up on her, but I obviously didn't. So yeah, that was kind of neat.
That's a great
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
So who or what inspires and encourages you?
Man, you?
I don't know
You?
if I do, but
I think people that are inspire. My kids inspire me.
Definitely.
Just to be a better person. Jennifer, my wife, inspires me to be a better husband. The leadership at church inspires me to, you know, keep serving and everything else. But yeah, and I think just every single relationship I have, whether it's small, whether I've just met you, or whether I've known you for years, is inspiring and encouraging to me. Because I'm a very relational person, so each person I meet, I try to establish a relationship with them, and some relationships are, you know, small, some relationships are big, but I try to let everybody encourage me, because I need it. You know, I need it constantly.
Definitely.
So, and that's why I'm a very relational person. I'm reaching out to people a lot, and that's why my job fits me perfectly, because I can be in constant relationship. So
yeah,
I'd say everybody encourages me. Yeah,
I think everybody can be encouraging. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody brings something different to the table, and they bring their own thing. And
Yeah.
I mean, you do something like this, and you put yourself out there. And I've had people ask, they're like, "Well, what if you put yourself out there, and say you find yourself wind up drinking again?"
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, God forbid that ever happens. But it's like, well, okay, it's not a question of what if I put myself out there and screw up. It's like, what if I don't put myself out there and somebody doesn't hear my story and gets to benefit from it?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus himself said the Son of Man came to serve, not to be served. I mean, I figure if I sit on my butt and don't get out there and let other people encourage me, like you say, or hold me accountable, I mean, people are great accountability tools when you surround yourself with the right ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, guys like yourself and guys like Matt Niemeyer way back in
Barber
the
Matt, if you're
barbershop
watching, shout out,
days,
buddy.
and I mean even Ethan now, and I mean the barbershop was always kind of a safe haven for me.
Yeah, I remember.
So I mean there's a special place right there.
Yeah.
I mean there were nights when I was sleeping outside with nothing but a sleeping bag and a backpack, and I'd go to the barbershop during the day to warm up.
Yeah.
And just sitting there and talking to the people, you know, and you see everybody come in and they see you sitting there with a sleeping bag and a backpack. And of course, when you spent 10 years working at WRSW and you're pretty well known, everybody sees the backpack and the sleeping bag and they're like, "You got a place to stay?"
Yeah.
"No, really don't."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, I saw you walking in the snow the other day and I didn't know where you were heading." So, I mean, there's that level of embarrassment, you know. But now, it's like, I want to share that with people.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
and I like,
If it touches one person, then
it's all the difference.
100% worth it. Yeah.
I mean, fear keeps people from doing so many things and prevents people, I think, from inspiring and encouraging others because they think they don't matter. They think their story doesn't matter. They don't think they have any value to offer anybody. And I'm here to tell you that you do, no matter where you're at.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can be an inspiration and encouragement to somebody, even if it's just looking yourself in the mirror and saying, "Hey, you know what? We're going to do better today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we'll worry about that when tomorrow gets here. But for today, we're going to be inspiring and encouraging to the person I'm looking at in the mirror."
I mean, you never know if that one word could be it.
Yeah.
That could be the encouragement that they needed for the day, or, you know, you don't know that they're struggling because a lot of people don't share their feelings.
No, they
You know,
don't.
especially with I mean, especially with strangers, but even with friends, they just don't share their struggles, and we're not ever in. I don't know how we're as believers, we're never supposed to be alone. We're always supposed to be, helping each other and everything else. So
I mean, I can't even imagine, like, some days when somebody sits down in your chair by Thursday or Friday at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, the amount of weight that's probably on somebody's shoulders.
Yeah.
It might not be the CEO, it might not be the top business exec, it may be the guy working on the floor in the factory that's got so much pressure on him to keep his job, to put the can of Spam and beans and rice on the table, that feels that pressure like you wouldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the stuff that you get to deal with on a regular basis,
And I've had days like that, and I call them roller coaster days, where I come in and in 23 years doing what I do, I've been late once, and it was like 5 minutes, and I was just devastated because I was 5 minutes late. I've only missed one day sick. 2 half days actually made it into work, and everybody looked at me like, "What are you doing here?" Middle of summer, I got sweatshirt on. I don't know, I got to work, So because I'm committed to what I do, and I love what I do. And when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. But I've had roller coaster days where a guy sits down and he just buried his wife, and he shares that. And a couple guys later, a guy will say, "I'm getting married on Saturday."
Yeah.
This up and down, and it's like, I just lost my mom. And then, hey, so it's just, which for me, I can help, I can kind of compartmentalize that now, but it's a lot, and that's why I love what I do. So kind of back to your, how do I incorporate my faith into my work? A lot of times it's a gentleman lost his wife, and he came in, and I knew he lost his wife, and it's always that awkward, like, what do you say to somebody that loses somebody? And what I found is, I'm Irish, so I love to hug, and I can't hug him anymore because his back. I know.
We're fixing that.
Remember? I know. I heard. Yeah. So I went to hug Josh one time, and just bro hug, because I love to hug, and he's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." But all I did was I just embraced him, and was I feel my way of showing I cared, because I care a lot, and his way of receiving that. So yeah, I don't know where we even got though. I think we're already off the rails. So that's how it happens.
That's all
right.
right. That's the glory
That's
of
the beauty
these
of it.
videos, because they kind of go off the rails. And
yeah.
Somebody commented, "2 great guys right here. Can I get a minion voice today?"
Who's that?
Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson. Oh, he played for the Oakland A's, didn't he?
I think he stole all the bases.
He stole all the bases.
Different Ricky Henderson. But
All right, here we're gonna go. I'll give him the Dr. Gru one time.
I've never
one time. That's it.
I've never seen the movies.
Oh yeah. So the Lake City Skiers, we did the Minions theme a couple years ago, and I got to play Dr. Gru.
Nice.
So I had to use that voice. So
bet that's where that stemmed from.
I can't do a Minion voice, but that's Dr. Gru. So anyway, close. It's not even really good, but
I don't speak Minionese.
Yeah, there you go. The Minions are awesome though, man. If you can't smile watching the Minions, I've got a problem with you. Because you got to smile. Nobody knows what they're saying, but they're so cute and funny. So, yeah.
That's one thing.
You haven't?
I've never seen.
Oh my Lanta.
Never seen the movies.
Oh wow, you got to see them.
And I've got 3 kids.
Banana. That's the only.
I mean, I've heard it.
Yeah.
But
it's awesome. Yeah.
So, at your core, who is John Conley?
Man. Broken. At my core, I mean, I think I tend to be a very open person, which sometimes I'm reserved with that because not many people are used to people being open. Mm-hmm. So I struggle with that, but I'm definitely a person that wants to do good, you know, and sometimes I try too hard to do good. I overdo it, which sometimes leads to the anxiety and the worry about everything else. But yeah, I mean, I guess the core is I'm still a work in progress. He's not finished with me yet, and yeah, I don't know. I'm at my core. Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like saying. So that's kind of what I didn't think about that question. So I just kind of answered.
All of us are. I mean, all of us are broken to an extent.
And I think that at the core, I think it's probably safe to assume that a majority of people are. And that's why we need each other. So.
And I mean, I think there's that level of how good is your facade towards other people, that what you're presenting and who you actually are. That's one thing. I
hide behind that a lot still.
And going back to when we talk about being like old John and old Josh versus like, where does that turning point come from? Mm-hmm. The old Josh was full of booze, but tried to have this facade that I had it all together.
Yeah.
So new Josh and probably new John is, you know what? I don't have it all together, but I hold on pretty tightly to the one that I know that does.
Amen.
And I try to be as transparent and the same person in the videos when I'm at my house with my kids, same person to my wife Holly, the same guy I am to you. So like if somebody were to walk up to me at Meijer or Walmart or wherever and carry on a conversation, they're going to get the exact same thing now.
Isn't it a lot easier too?
It is a lot easier.
I mean, I
don't have to be anything different than who I am.
100%, man. It's when you're putting up that front, when you're putting up that guard or whatever in your heart, when you go home, that's your character. That's what you do when the doors are closed, when nobody's seeing it. So to strive to be, to your point, if you can be the same person, behind the scenes with your family, with everybody else as you are in front, then that's pretty good. That's
yeah. I mean, I know
it's kind of like lying, lying is so easy, but you have to keep telling lies to cover for lies, and if you just
it's a lot
tell the truth,
easier to remember the truth.
Exactly.
And one of my favorite quotes is, quit comparing your behind the scenes with everybody else's highlight reel. I mean, the
good old Facebook
or Twitter post or something that you see from people, that's just a highlight.
Yep.
I mean, you're not getting how their day's really going. I mean, dig into it. Get to know the people that you're surrounding yourself with.
Absolutely.
I mean, talk to them. Really get to know them. Yeah. And be honest. Yeah. I mean, I can't stress that enough. There's so much, and you see it all the time in the media where something from somebody's past 20 to 25 years ago comes back to haunt them and just completely destroys their career. So that's why, you know what? Hey, I'm an open book. Yeah. I'm going to throw everything out there so that way, and I'm going to use it to my advantage.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think in a lot of ways, I think you do that too. Because it's like, I don't want that weight on my shoulders feeling like I have to hide stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, it takes a whole lot more effort to hide and to hold grudges than it does just to let it go.
And I think kind of in that vein, as busy as life is getting or has gotten or perceived, become busier, there's still 24 hours in a day and 60 minutes in that hour. I think a lot of times people, they really want, I think we're all called to be in a relationship with each other. I think it's at our basic instinct is to be with people and around people. But I think for some reason, the relationships that I see have become very superficial and very just kind of topical, like not in depth. Or so, it's easy when you know a lot of people to have a lot of light relationships or whatever, acquaintances. And at the core of those acquaintances, they may want something more, and so taking the time I'd rather have few relationships that are really fruitful and meaningful than a lot of different. And that's kind of how I've changed over the years too. I used to try to be one with everybody, and the good old boy everywhere. But now I'm just like, I'm okay focusing on the most important relationships. So
yeah. So looking like it's about time for you to go in the parent pickup line.
Hey, that's all right.
To get your son, so we probably
this is
ought to.
Awesome. Let's
The last one I got here is, how do you want people to remember you? And that came about from Jeff Olson's book, The Slight Edge, where he tells the story of, at your funeral, only 10 people are going to cry, and of those 10 people, if the weather's bad, are going to end up going to the gravesite to watch him get buried. So, I mean, that's kind of where, like, how do you want, say, those 5 people, or just people in general, to remember you?
Man, oh geez, that's tough, because that kind of spurs my selfish self to
of course it
to speak. And I'm very selfish, very selfish. This right here, I mean, I don't ever want to be so busy that I feel like people don't care, or think that I don't care, and try to be that person that they feel safe sharing or being around, and being who they are, and just, I don't know, what would they say? Jeez. Because I used to want people to remember me for being funny and the life of the party and everything else, but that's changed so much. Maybe it's maturity, maybe it's life, whatever. I would say if people could remember me as somebody that they can count on, like I needed something and he was there, or I don't know. That's ended on a tough one there.
That's I like to
have me thinking the rest of the day now.
I like to hit those heavy hitters.
Yeah, you're gonna have me thinking about that all day now. But I don't want to think too much about it, because I don't want to think about not being here. I feel like I want to do a lot of work still. So
the glory about it is you got time to fix that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So you think about it, it's like, well, I still have time to change how people view me, and as long as I'm breathing and I got air in my lungs and a brain in my head, I have the ability to change who I am and how people view me. I mean, not that I care what people think, but to a certain extent, I think we all do. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's I care so much as in I let it affect who I am as a person, but I care about what they think because I care. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
I had a good friend of mine, just talking to him the other day, and kind of along the lines of that question, but it was more like, what do you want to be accused of with the situation or your life, mate? What do you want to be accused of? Well, he was a horrible person. He didn't care anything else. I want to be accused of being somebody who, shared Jesus with people and showed that to the best a sinner can, and maybe that one person that didn't know or trust or anything, maybe met Jesus. Yeah. Through that. So.
And it's all running that race to get to that prize. Yeah. Of standing before the Lord on Judgment Day and hearing, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You're good."
Let's go.
And pass. Hear Jesus say, "He's with me. We're good."
I wonder if I often think about heaven, if we're gonna have glorified bodies and everything else, this is kind of, landing this thing. It's in heaven. Since I love what I do, right? Like a golfer. If a golfer loves golf, is he still going to be able to golf? And I mean, is he going to be able to make his own golf course and play it all the time? But I just wonder if people are going to need haircuts. If like I can still keep cutting hair in heaven, because I'd love to, but I have golden clippers, huh? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So,
obviously, you put some thought.
Yeah, I've thought about that a little bit. So I don't know. Can't wait to see it.
That's a good question, and man, that'd probably be a whole other topic.
That'd be a whole other topic. So
a whole other video.
We will spare your viewers the extra 20 minutes. So
I tell you, I appreciate you sitting down.
Yeah, thanks for asking me, man.
It's always interesting in these videos to me, because you kind of start out and everybody's a little bit kind of nervous, not really sure what to say.
I just don't know where to look. That's the only thing. It's like,
you have a conversation.
I'm with you, but it's like,
and then have another conversation. And kind of look at the people.
Another guy told me, it's like, imagine there's a third person there, right? That's kind of like, yeah.
But
we've got 4 people. So.
But it's like, as the videos go along, it gets more relaxed, and you get a little bit more deeper, and you start getting into things, and it's amazing just how the flow of these videos go. Yeah. I love it.
It's awesome, man. Well, I love you, man.
I love you, good brother.
Appreciate you inviting me on here, and thanks for watching, everybody. Be encouraged and keep watching these, because it's great, good stuff. So.
Yeah, videos this week being brought to you and made possible by Clevenger Insurance Agency, 525 East Center in Warsaw. Find them on Facebook. You can find the link in the description to their page for all your home, auto, business, life, and health insurance needs. Thanks again to Clevenger Insurance Agency for backing the videos. And thanks to John for sitting down with me tomorrow.
You're very welcome.
Probably I'll have to look at the time. I don't know if we've determined it yet, but I'll be sitting down with Abe Hepler. So that's
can't wait to see that.
That's
awesome.
He's a great guy,
great dude.
And I'm looking forward to sitting down with him. And I always throw it out there, if you guys know of anybody that you would like to see sit down and maybe hear a little bit more about their story, man, shoot them my way. Send me a message, shoot me a text, or if you see me out and about, stop and talk to me, and we'll see if we can't make it happen. Yeah. You guys take care. Have a wonderful Wednesday. John's got to go hit up the parent pickup line.
Go do the dad thing.
I think my dad just texted me, so
all right.
He's got his car in the shop, so a different shop.
Yeah.
I go help him pick that up over in Burkett. So
all right. Appreciate you. See you guys.
Wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow.